Well, we know meteorologist John Scalzi, of course, from Good Morning Suncoast, but he is also our guest host, Linda Larson's loving husband. And together, they do a lot of fun and interesting things as a couple. Well, today they're going to tell us about their newest endeavor and how it is designed to help couples everywhere. I love this, and I'm very excited to learn more about this because you two always do really interesting things together, and you've recently started studying about a new work from Dr. Gottman. Tell us about it.
Well, when she first broached this possibility to me of going to this class that teaches you actually how to give this class to other people, I thought, oh, this is going to be a weekend of chick flicks, isn't it? But the more she told me about it, the more it appealed to me because I've always been interested in, psychology and relationships and morality and ethics and all those sort of things. And it occurs to me that most of us get married and that's it. You don't take another class. If you have a job, you take training classes to get better at your job, et cetera, et cetera. But for a marriage, nobody ever does. But in fact, this work by Dr. Gottman teaches you how to not only for some people solve problems that they may have in a relationship, but for other people teaches them how to grow and expand and nurture and deepen their relationship and marriage. And so we took this 2-day course and it was absolutely outstanding by Gottman, who's a scientist.
Which makes him happy.
Yeah, so the science backs it up.
Well, Dr. Gottman, by the way, is the 40 years of research, is the psychologist who could tell within about a few minutes of watching a couple interact, because of his research, he could tell with over 90% accuracy rate whether or not that couple would be married in 5 years.
Got famous for it.
Yeah, got famous.
60
He
minutes.
was all over.
That could be scary, I would think.
Well, but well, it could be. But what he saw was, what are the qualities that make a marriage successful? And he could identify them as actual physical behaviors. And what are the qualities that are, or the elements that are present when the marriage is in trouble? Well, isn't that something you'd want to know?
Yes,
You'd like, tell me what the behaviors are.
The pitfalls that you might be about to go into as a couple.
The fascinating thing to me was that he did this research and he did it in what's he called a love lab at the University of Washington, where he is a PhD and heads up this department, clinical department, where they invited couples in, they videotaped them, they wore microphones. There were certain times when they wouldn't videotape, obviously, but they amassed tens of thousands of hours of video, and they would go through them with all their research assistants, and they identified these 7 principles that would make a marriage work, or when these 7 principles broke down, what kind of relationship problems would ensue. And he developed that eventually from not only a predictor of divorce, but into, he wanted to make him a little money too, I guess, so can't blame him for that, into how to create a program that creates a successful marriage and like that.
It makes
he found
sense.
that these 7 principles are applicable to no matter what language you speak, no matter what country you come from, no matter what culture you lived in, they are universal.
And it makes sense because it's one of the most intimate relationships we have, really, right. and why not spend more time on it? So
it's fun.
There's
it's fun
practical application to it, right? So you have, I know you brought us the kind of the box set that you got as part of it, but there are cards that almost make a little game out of it.
Well, it adheres to one of the 7 principles, right?
Yes.
The love maps.
And the principle number 1 is enhance your love maps, which basically means get to know your partner on every level. What do they love? What do they fear? What are they looking forward to? So it's a game where you play and you ask your partner, or you tell your partner what you think they're going to answer.
All right, so
if we have time, I can there was a great scene in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams is discussing with Will, the guy he's giving therapy to, about his deceased wife, things he remembers, and he says, oh God, I remember back in the day, she used to pass gas in her sleep. And they all cracked up, and he got teary and cracked up, and he said, it's those little things that you remember that make it such a warm, deep relationship, those little peccadillos that nobody else knows but you, and that's what builds and strengthens your relationship, and that's what this game is.
And when you're together like that, there are no secrets, really. There aren't, right. Even in the night.
I don't even remember that part about the movie.
So we've pre-selected a couple cards so that everything is daytime friendly, because there are cards that will actually help your physical relationship, I understand.
Yes.
So we're going to try. So you two obviously are married. Linda and I are going to be in a work marriage, so we'll answer for each other.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a question that I have to ask her, but I answer first, and she tells me if I'm right, so I get a deeper understanding of her. What is your partner's favorite way to spend an evening? And I would say this would be with a wonderful movie on TV, the dog's cuddled up on the couch with us, and maybe a little dinner on the couch.
Oh, right on.
You win. All right,
Okay, you
Linda,
do one.
Linda Carson.
Oh no!
So you're answering for me.
What does your partner like to do with time off? Swim. We just saw you swim.
Yes, I do. I do. That's a new love.
Now
So
I-
see, Linda pays attention.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll draw one.
And so right, this is just a fun thing to do.
These are great
right? This is
conversation
not like anything
starters
deep or
too when
heavy.
you're sitting at dinner
Yeah.
or something.
This is not therapy so much as it is
It's just fun.
relationship.
Okay, so what was your partner's favorite vacation?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know
Yeah.
if I know the answer. to
Well, I know one of them. I would say would be our trip to Italy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Because of the
Yes.
food and the passionate people.
Yes.
Yes.
It was great.
Can they read each other's minds?
Yes.
Well, what I like too is even if you don't necessarily get it right, you still, this becomes a discussion.
Exactly,
All right, we have
yes.
time for one more quick one. What was your partner's most embarrassing moment? And Linda, I'm going to say the goat. Is that right? Which you turned into a beautiful moment.
Yep, I was afraid there'd be goat poop in that stall, and I was worried about landing.
And can I mention that this Gottman card deck is available for free to download to your cell phone?
Yes, and I
it's a
actually have
Gottman-
done it, and it's a great little conversation starter if you're sitting at dinner or waiting in line somewhere. Great tools. Thank you for this. We've just barely scratched the surface, but for more information about this approach to relationships, you can find out more online at Gottman.com.